Have you ever wondered how criminals turn piles of cash from illegal activities into seemingly clean money that looks perfectly legal? This is not just a story about money, it is about deception, power, and a hidden system that keeps the criminal world running smoothly behind the scenes. Money laundering is the process that criminals use to disguise the illegal origin of their money so that it can enter the financial system without raising suspicion. Imagine you have just made a fortune through illegal drugs, fraud, or corruption. You cannot just deposit that cash into a bank without attracting attention. So, you need a way to make that money appear legitimate. This secret journey usually starts with the placement phase, where the dirty money is introduced into the financial system. It might be done through cash deposits, buying expensive assets, or funneling money through businesses that deal mostly in cash. But just putting money into the system is only the beginning. Next comes layering, the trickiest part. Here, the money is shuffled through a series of complex transactions to hide its origin. It can be transferred between accounts, converted into different currencies, or used to buy and sell assets repeatedly. The goal is to confuse anyone who tries to follow the money trail. Finally, integration is the stage where the cleaned money re-enters the economy. It looks like normal income or investment returns and can be used freely without suspicion. By this point, tracing the money back to its illegal source is extremely difficult, sometimes impossible. Why do criminals go through all this trouble? Because without laundering, illegal money would be useless. It is the fuel that powers drug cartels, corrupt officials, and organized crime syndicates worldwide. So, what are the real tricks criminals use to place their money into banks? How do they make complex transactions that confuse authorities? And what makes integration so effective in fooling even the most advanced financial watchdogs? If you want to uncover the dark truth about money laundering and the hidden systems criminals rely on, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you do not miss the rest of this eye-opening series. Tell me in the comments, what do you think is the most surprising method criminals use to hide their dirty money? Your thoughts can spark important conversations and help spread awareness. Stay with me as we dive deeper into the world of money laundering, a shadowy game of cat and mouse where every dollar tells a secret story. Money laundering is not a simple trick, it is a carefully orchestrated process designed to erase all traces of illegal origins. After learning how dirty money enters the financial system, now we will explore the three crucial stages that criminals use to cleanse their funds: placement, layering, and integration. Each stage plays a unique role in making illicit money look legitimate. Placement is the first and riskiest step. This is where criminals introduce their dirty cash into the system. It might be through bank deposits, purchasing high-value goods, or investing in cash-heavy businesses. The goal is to get the money into circulation without raising suspicion. Yet, it is during this phase that the highest risk of detection exists. The second stage, layering, is the most complex. Here, money is shuffled through a maze of financial transactions. It can be transferred across multiple accounts, countries, and currencies, or invested in various financial instruments. The purpose is to confuse and break the trail so that authorities cannot easily track the money back to its criminal roots. Think of it as a labyrinth designed to lose any pursuer. Finally, integration is the stage where money reappears as seemingly clean funds. At this point, laundered money can be used to buy properties, start businesses, or simply be withdrawn as legitimate earnings. By now, the money appears lawful, making it almost impossible to connect it back to criminal activities. Understanding these stages is vital to seeing how criminals outsmart financial systems. But how exactly do they execute these steps without raising alarms? What ingenious methods help them slip past the watchful eyes of banks and regulators? Money laundering is not confined to any single country. It is a global web that stretches across oceans and continents, exploiting the gaps and weaknesses in international finance. Criminals are well aware that certain places in the world provide perfect hiding spots for their illicit wealth, making it almost impossible for authorities to trace their moves. After understanding the three critical stages of money laundering, it is essential to see how secretive financial havens and offshore jurisdictions play a vital role in this game of deception. These locations are not just dots on a map, they are carefully chosen sanctuaries offering privacy, minimal oversight, and legal loopholes. Places like the Cayman Islands, Panama, Luxembourg, and the British Virgin Islands have built reputations as tax havens and offshore banking centers, a paradise for anyone wanting to hide money from prying eyes. These jurisdictions offer tools such as offshore bank accounts and shell companies, businesses that exist only on paper. They allow criminals to mask the true ownership of their assets, creating layers of complexity that befuddle even the most experienced investigators. When money passes through multiple countries and legal entities, following its path becomes a maze without an exit. But it is not only far-flung tropical islands that serve this purpose. Even some major financial centers and respected banks can unintentionally become conduits for dirty money due to gaps in regulations, weak enforcement, or inadequate transparency. Criminals exploit these weaknesses by moving money swiftly through various institutions, further obscuring its origin. The use of these global financial havens not only protects criminals but also undermines the rule of law, fosters corruption, and distorts economies. It is a challenge that demands cooperation across borders and relentless vigilance. So, how do these offshore accounts really operate behind the scenes? What secrets are hidden in shell companies, and how do they serve as a cloak for illegal funds? Most importantly, how do international agencies collaborate to pierce this veil of secrecy and bring criminals to justice? Next, we will explore one of the most dynamic and rapidly evolving tools in money laundering today: cryptocurrency, and discover how it is reshaping the landscape in ways both surprising and challenging for authorities worldwide. The rise of cryptocurrency has transformed the way money moves around the world, and unfortunately, it has also become a favorite tool for criminals to clean their dirty money. Following the trail through offshore havens, we now enter the fast-paced, borderless world of digital currencies. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies promise privacy, speed, and decentralization, qualities that attract not only legitimate users but also those with illicit intentions. Unlike traditional banking systems, cryptocurrencies operate without central control, making them difficult to regulate or monitor. Criminals use cryptocurrency exchanges, mixers, and privacy coins to obscure the origin and destination of funds. These tools break the money trail and provide a level of anonymity that traditional financial systems cannot match. For example, mixers blend different users' coins together, making it almost impossible to trace individual transactions. The appeal of cryptocurrency for money laundering is its accessibility and global reach. A criminal in one country can instantly transfer millions to another, bypassing banks and governments. This speed and lack of borders create significant challenges for law enforcement agencies struggling to keep up with evolving technologies. However, the same blockchain technology that enables cryptocurrencies also offers transparency. Every transaction is recorded on a public ledger. This paradox has led to the development of new investigative tools and techniques that track illicit flows of digital money in unprecedented ways. How exactly do criminals leverage cryptocurrencies to launder money? What are mixers and privacy coins, and why do they matter? And how are authorities adapting their strategies to fight laundering in this digital age? In the next chapter, we will uncover how criminals use shell companies and false fronts to hide their activities behind layers of legitimacy. Criminals often hide behind layers of deception, and shell companies are among their most effective tools to mask illegal money flows. After exploring the digital avenues of laundering, we now turn to the physical and legal facades criminals create. Shell companies, businesses that exist only on paper with no real operations, are the invisible puppeteers behind much of the world's illicit finance. These companies allow criminals to own assets, open bank accounts, and move money without revealing their true identities. Setting up a shell company is surprisingly easy in many countries, thanks to lax regulations and loopholes. Once created, these companies can buy luxury real estate, vehicles, or even other businesses, integrating dirty money into the legitimate economy. The complex web of ownership structures can span multiple jurisdictions, making it nearly impossible for investigators to trace the original source. Beyond shell companies, criminals use false fronts, businesses that appear legitimate but serve primarily to funnel illegal funds. Restaurants, car dealerships, and import-export firms are common examples, where cash flows can be mingled with illicit money seamlessly. These hidden fronts not only protect criminals but also erode trust in legitimate businesses and markets, impacting economies on a broader scale. How do authorities uncover the real owners behind these opaque companies? What legal and financial loopholes make this system so exploitable? And how does this shadow economy affect everyday people who unknowingly interact with these fronts? As we peel back more layers, the next chapter will reveal the dark consequences of laundering money, the hidden victims and the real cost to society. Money laundering is not just a financial crime, it fuels some of the darkest activities on the planet and has real human consequences. Building on the deceptive fronts of shell companies and false businesses, we now explore who truly suffers from the flow of dirty money. Drug cartels, human traffickers, corrupt politicians, and organized crime syndicates all rely on laundering to keep their operations running smoothly. The money they clean finances weapons, bribes, exploitation, and destruction. Behind the scenes, innocent communities face increased violence and economic instability. Laundered funds perpetuate cycles of poverty and corruption, weakening governments and destroying lives. While the money changes hands in luxury boardrooms or offshore accounts, the consequences ripple outwards, impacting ordinary people in devastating ways. This dark reality remains hidden from most, as criminals hide behind layers of complexity and secrecy. But understanding the real cost of money laundering is crucial to grasping why the fight against it matters beyond the balance sheets. How does laundered money directly fund crime and corruption? What impact does it have on vulnerable populations and societies as a whole? And how can greater awareness help break this dangerous cycle? If you understand the true flow of dirty money and its consequences, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more revealing insights. Your support helps bring these hidden stories into the light. Next, we will dive into how law enforcement agencies fight back against this invisible enemy, using cutting-edge tools and international cooperation. Money laundering is far more than a financial crime hidden in spreadsheets and bank statements. It is the lifeblood of some of the darkest forces in the world, enabling illegal empires to flourish and innocent lives to suffer in silence. Following the intricate web of shell companies and false fronts, we uncover the true cost of laundering money, the human toll that remains invisible to most. Drug cartels use these funds to buy weapons and fuel violent conflicts. Human traffickers rely on laundered cash to enslave and exploit the vulnerable. Corrupt officials disguise bribes and steal public funds, deepening inequality and weakening governments. Every dollar that is cleaned in this vast, shadowy system ripples outwards, feeding cycles of poverty, crime, and instability. Communities caught in the crossfire bear the burden, families shattered, economies crippled, and justice denied. While the money flows through luxury real estate, yachts, and high-end cars, the real victims are left unheard and unseen. This dark undercurrent of crime and corruption is hidden behind complex financial structures, making it difficult to expose. But knowing the true impact of money laundering helps us understand why combating it is a fight for justice, security, and human dignity. How exactly does laundered money fuel these destructive networks? What are the stories of those affected by this invisible crime? And what role can awareness and action play in breaking this vicious cycle? The battle against money laundering is complex, relentless, and global. Law enforcement agencies, financial institutions, and governments are united in their efforts to expose and dismantle these hidden networks. Using advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, data analytics, and blockchain tracing, investigators can now detect suspicious patterns and follow illicit money flows with greater precision. International cooperation has become essential. Criminals no longer respect borders, and neither can those fighting them. Organizations like the Financial Action Task Force (FATF) and Interpol lead coordinated actions, sharing intelligence and tightening regulations worldwide. Yet, despite these efforts, criminals constantly evolve their tactics, adapting to new laws and technologies. The fight is a continuous cat-and-mouse game, where every victory leads to new challenges. But each successful takedown disrupts criminal enterprises and protects societies from harm. If you have watched this video all the way through, it means this story has earned your most valuable attention. Please show your support by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell icon so you never miss an update. Help me reach 1,000 likes. This is a special challenge from my mother, and your support means the world to me.